Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Cynical Marketers. Thank you for joining us if you are here. Episode 48. We're marching on towards the end of the year. It's crazy.
I know.
So this week, it's the holiday season. We're almost to Thanksgiving, and Coca-Cola released their Christmas commercial, and they used AI to generate it, and it is not being well received, which it wasn't last year either. Everyone hated it, and Coke said, whatever. We know you don't like it. We're going to keep doing it because we can fire people and we don't have to pay people. So I don't care if you don't like it. They went after it again. Now, here's the thing. So we found out some stuff about it, right? So futurism, and there's other places, but futurism has some of the details that it took 100 staff and over 70,000 prompts to make this video. So I think that's fantastic because anytime you're out there, and this is what I talk about, that undisclosed influencer campaign, when you see somebody on TikTok or Instagram and they're like, look at how easy this video is. And then they just I typed in this one sentence prompt and look at this video I made. And you're like, there's no way that's true. It's not. None of it's easy. 70,000 prompts to make this video. And then the end result is everybody hated it. And it still looks like AI garbage. And consumers don't like it. So I want to know what the point is for Coke on this. Why are they still leaning into this?
I am also clearly the only human who did not really pay attention to anything that was happening with the Coke commercial last year. So a lot of the negative backlash of last year's creative went straight over my head when I was reading about it, Mike, because apparently in the last year's commercial, there were just glaring glitches, right? People were saying, and I went back and rewatched, the truck changes a few times, tires don't turn. Like there were so many different weird, typical AI things in the last year's commercial. And then I watched this year's because there's two different spots. And I was like, it was kind of interesting how they really zoomed in on the truck and really zoomed in on the tires. Like they were just kind of like, it's almost like they were saying like, look, guys, we fixed what was not working last year, right? I thought it was just an interesting thing, but I can't wrap my brain around why they would double down on this. And their whole point was, I don't know if you read the statement from them, Mike, that said they're incorporating human storytelling with the innovation of AI, right? That's such a proper PR response. No, they're not going to say like, this is going to cost us a fraction of what it used to, right? And we don't have to employ as many people. Because it took 100 staff, the people prompting the AI to generate the commercial there was only 5 of those people. But then on the back end, once the clips were completed, somebody had to edit this, right? Obviously, it's not going to be the same people that prompted the AI. So then are we to assume it took then 75, or 95 people? I can't do math, apparently. That it took 95 other people to do all other things besides prompt AI to generate these clips. Such a weird, I don't know. I don't fully understand how they executed this. I guess they used agencies and companies that do this AI stuff specifically, but wild.
Right. And look, if you go to their YouTube channel for the commercial, some of these comments that I just love. Almost 7,200 comments so far. Right? And not a whole lot. Here, the top one. The unintentional irony of using real magic as the tagline is hilarious.
Yes.
The next comment is great too. This is the most profitable commercial in Pepsi's history.
Yes. That's when the internet's the right way.
All these decades trying to cure my Coca-Cola addiction. This did it in 10 seconds.
Yep.
And, look, you can scroll through. There's not, I really miss the pre-AI internet. There's not any positive comments on this.
Right.
And kudos to Coke for leaving the comments on. If you're getting just blasted like that, typically brands turn off their comments and run and hide. But You know, this is where I have always said, because of last year, I'm on Reddit and I watch comments on commercials. There's a couple of things I follow for consumers. And then you see stuff like this. This is where I'm like, you marketers, like, you're in some kind of a bubble where you don't seem to understand consumer sentiment.
Yeah.
You know, you guys only ever talk to each other and you go to conferences and talk to each other. I don't think you talk to any real people out there, because actual people do not like AI. They don't like it in marketing.
Yep.
They don't want it. But you're keep like, we'll tell you what you're going to like.
Yeah.
We'll tell you. We're smarter. You know, and I don't think marketers pay attention to actual consumer sentiment on things. They think it's a shiny new toy and that they want to be the thought leader on this. And they don't want to hear it from anyone that it's bad. But real consumers don't like it. So I don't understand, other than, I guess, the cost savings. Because like in the Futurism article, they talked about 25% cost reduction typically versus a traditional doing this commercial. And, you know, look, a big brand, I made two TV commercials in my time at Grunstyle. One of them we made was intended to be a Super Bowl commercial. So we went through everything to make it a Super Bowl commercial. And in the last minute, we just couldn't finalize the deal with NBC, but we had the commercial made and done. So we made a Super Bowl commercial, and then we couldn't finalize the deal. That cost us about $150,000 to do that. Now, it should have been a heck of a lot more, because the guys we were working with out in LA, that production company, they were veteran owned, a bunch of veterans too. So they were doing it. It was a passion project to be a part of this thing. So people did things at a greatly reduced rate just to be a part of that project. So, but I've made commercials. I've seen what it takes. They're a pain, and it can be expensive. But even if Coca-Cola saved 25% on this, to what end? Everybody hated it. So is the plan just to keep doing it until, hey, no one's going to like it initially, but after time, they're just going to forget that they don't like it because it's going to be the only thing. So what are you going to do about it? Is that the plan? I don't know. I don't understand why I keep doing this.
It's interesting because they got, like, I was looking at some of the comments and some notes, because again, I clearly missed a whole lot of backlash last year on this. But it was interesting because last year's their commercial also featured people. This year, they specifically stepped away from that, and they even talk about that. They've leaned into, because of their use of generative AI, they've leaned into really animals, and they're saying like, oh, we're bringing it back to our classic, like, Home for the Holidays, or Holidays Are Coming, or whatever it was from the 90s. But it's, that was the polar bears, right? Like that we, had talked about, and we've seen that were iconic for Coke, right? But this doesn't hit the same. It looks cheap and, not innovative at all. It would have been, if they were going to use AI, I would almost think like somebody like Coke, who has an infinite marketing budget. They have to. I don't even want to know what it is.
Yeah,
wouldn't cheap out on a holiday commercial. Like if they were going to do something so out of the box, extraordinary with AI, I would be all for it. But this looks like, a bunch of clips strung together by, every TikTok or influencer account that does these types of clips, all the time, with animals, with cats and dogs and whatever the heck, right? Like it just so, in nothing, the messaging isn't new. They didn't really change. Like they really try to like do what they did 30 years ago, but with AI. And so nothing to me is like clever or outstanding on this. Not even like the message, like there's no nostalgia feel because they've changed out all the animals. They didn't even have the polar bears in this one, right? Like they tried last year and it was like a huge backlash on that too. So now it just doesn't feel like that. The YouTube comments said like, just, the authenticity of it is lacking huge, right? And then it's like the real holiday spirit. Like, come on. I don't understand. Like, I get it. They tried it 1 year and they were like, we wanted to merge storytelling and innovation, right? That's been what they've been saying since last year. If it failed last year and the comments that you've gotten were so horrendous, why lean into it almost identically this year? Like they didn't do anything new. It's strange to me. I don't understand it at all. Like, I get that these big brands who have huge marketing budgets are going to want to compete for, the attention of the consumer with this type of stuff. Like, oh, look, we're using the new cool thing, right? But it didn't work for you last year. So why would you do it again this year? Or maybe it did work because everybody was talking about it, right? I don't
Talking
know.
about it, but negative, I guess. But
Right.
they're falling for the hype, the undisclosed hype campaign that is happening, right? They fell for that,
Yeah.
thinking everyone's talking about it, everyone loves this AI, so we're going to make this AI
Right.
commercial and we're going to show this off. Look, everybody at our
Yeah.
AI, you know? And everyone's like, boo. The thing for me is like, hey, big companies like, hey, look at our AI commercial, everybody. We were able to pay real humans so much less to do this. Isn't this awesome? And
Yeah.
then consumers are like, well, no, that's not really very cool. And why am I still paying the same price for everything? Why are your prices still going up? All of you are going to use AI to cut costs and be more efficient and gain efficiencies, right? And synergize your efficiencies. But me, the consumer, I don't get any benefit from that. So what is the point of this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
I mean, honestly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they've maybe leaned into, even so, they did this last year and they got this huge backlash from people, right? And they got made fun of and kind of dragged online for, the glitches in the commercial that were evident. So if they did some kind of even like a parody on that, or like a blatant like, look, we fixed this type of stuff thing, which I think they kind of try to do with some of the zoomed in shots and everything. But it's just, I feel like there was nothing creative. So if you did this last year and this is the feedback that you got, now you're doubling down to do the exact same thing to get the exact same type of feedback. What are you as a brand getting out of this? Not all attention is good attention. In your Coke, you're like one of the largest companies, of consumable products out there. Like, you have a budget on a budget on a budget. I had to laugh because a lot of the statements that were being issued from Coke in regards to this commercial, like, it kept bringing up the same person over and over. And this guy's title is Global VP and Head of Generative AI. Like, when did you tag that on? Last like 8 months ago to
I
your
don't know.
title? Like,
Yeah.
that's not
When was
even a
it
thing.
cool? When
That's
was it
not a
cool to
title.
add that? Yeah.
You're a global VP and a head of generative AI. Like, what's your job?
Yeah.
Like, what's your actual job? You know, it's, and I don't, not this person will probably never hear me say that out loud, but still, but like,
Yeah. Of course.
legitimately, because, he said, the brands controlled every cinematic detail from camera angles to physics driven realism using intuitive visual annotations that mimic a director's workflow. That's a lot of words strung together that just mean like we totally cheaped out on a director. Like, we did this, in 30 days with 70,000 individual clips generated by 5 people hitting up Sora and they've used, let me see, I'm going to probably get this wrong. So they used OpenAI, Sora, Google VO, and Luma AI. That's the one that I've never heard of. Yeah. So like, you've had 5 people just like typing in random prompts. I'm sure maybe not as random, but it just doesn't feel like, and the product is mediocre. You didn't do anything clever with it. You didn't do anything fun with it. It doesn't drive
I don't
nostalgia
even
to
know if it's
your
mediocre.
holiday or coming campaign from the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't see any comments saying like, okay, I get it. You tried. No, there's nothing like mediocre. People hate it.
I don't understand why they would double down and do it again.
70,000 prompts. This is something about all these AI tools. And I have tried all of them for the creation side. You see a video on TikTok or Instagram and some influencers like, look at this video I made. And like, this is all you need to do it. And you're like, okay, let me go try this out. You will never get it to work that way.
Yeah.
And then you'll have some defender be like, you just don't know how to write prompts. Okay, is that the thing? Is that what the greatest AI ever is? Because you know what I don't know either? I don't know Python. I don't know the
Yeah.
language of Python. So is that what you're telling me AI is? It's just another programming language? And you really got to learn it? But so this is the greatest intelligence ever invented, but you need to know how to speak to it. That is what doesn't make sense to me. I think it's a great tool. And we use AI in our business for like efficiency and some task stuff. And
Yes.
like it helps us like ideation and things. But you don't use it.
Yeah.
We don't use it on the creation side, things that you're going to put out
No.
for consumers to see because
No.
consumers don't like it. So
Right.
AI is a tool, not a negative. AI to try to replace creative humans in doing things, I don't know. I'm not a fan. And I know I work in a business where I'm trying to pay bills to have people pay me money to do this stuff, but
So you got to say that you love AI.
you keep trying to replace people with this stuff and people don't like it. I think it's going to hurt brands. And maybe Coca-Cola, where if you're a business and you're out there watching that and thinking like, well, okay, but Coca-Cola spends over, I looked up their budget. Last year was $5.4 billion on advertising.
Insane.
You're not spending that, your brand. Coca-Cola took one shot at this thing. They won't do anything else probably the rest of the year. Everything else they got, they'll make other things. You, small business, have to be much more strategic about your content output because you don't have $5.4 billion. So how many things are you going to make to put out in a year? You can't afford to take a beating like that. You can't afford that. And you don't have the 100+ years in business that Coke has, the history for people to lean on for it, their own love and affinity for this brand. You don't have that stuff. You can't afford to take that kind of a hit because you wanted to try this and think people like it, because people don't. You need to understand the consumer sentiment. People don't like it.
Yeah.
If you're an influencer doing funny, there's funny AI videos out there. That stuff is funny. But now you're trying to sell me on something? No.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Or sell me on nostalgia and human connection and realism and all of those things. Like the reason that the Coke commercials were so popular, the holiday Coke commercials, is because they really truly did take talent and innovation and technology to put all of them together, but they were flawless and nobody else at the time was doing anything like it, right? Nobody else was doing the polar bear commercials using that type of, professionally speaking, I don't even know what all it takes to make a commercial like that, right? 20 years ago. So I think that's why those things were so powerful and impactful, because they defined something that was so new, so innovative, so cool, right? Because nobody else was doing these things. And now you're trying to recapture that same sentiment from 20, 30 years ago using AI because that's the new cool technology, right? It's not hitting the same. It doesn't have that wow factor. Like if they did something outstanding with AI, I don't know what it would be. I kept like kind of thinking about it. I'm like, what could they have done? Coming off the tails of last year's commercial, right? And the backlash that they got last year. What could have Coke done this year to not have the same reaction? They literally just did the same thing as they did last year, And like you said, Mike, Coke can afford this. Nobody is going to, people are not going to be like, oh, I'm going to just stop drinking Coke because of one bad ad. They're going to make fun of them. Right. And the consumer sentiment is going to be like, this is so stupid. I can't believe. Yeah.
Just because I hate the commercial doesn't mean I'm ever going to start drinking Pepsi. This bad commercial doesn't make Pepsi taste good. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's not going to switch anything. I think it's stupid.
By the way, if you guys are just listening and not watching, Mike just held up his Coke Zero can. So, we just, the thing that's so interesting though, that if you are such a big brand and you have so much influence and you have access to, like I've looked up this Silverside AI, like that agency that they worked with for this commercial. Like these are some of the best people in the business. This is all you could come up with. It's almost like it's tragic. Like, why are you like, you can't do anything better with this. You can't be more clever. You couldn't have maybe integrate parts of AI with some of the old school stuff that they used to do. Like they could have really outdone themselves. Instead, they chose this to double down on something that didn't work last year and it didn't work this year. The comments are atrocious, like you said. And, for Coke, I guess they can afford this. They can afford to fail miserably in a holiday commercial and still not be that affected by it. besides the general sentiment that everybody is like, ugh, this is tacky and it sucks. And, we don't like AI things. But I think to your point, Mike, that's what a small business needs to take away from this. As we always say, marketing is still human. You still have to be authentic. I feel like we should start a list of all the Mike isms. It's like marketing is still human and people buy from those that they trust. They know and trust. Sorry, I got the quote wrong. you have to keep that in mind. If you're a business trying this AI stuff, you could do one fun video or two, but you can leverage your whole existence and all your ads and all your social media. And, if you are doing commercials, if you're a brand that does that, don't lean and so heavily into this AI stuff. It's not well received. And honestly, it looks cheap. Like, it doesn't look that great. We all know it's AI. Like, Coke didn't have to tell us that part.
Coca-Cola hired who is some of the people or that agency who probably have some of the top AI people in the world working there. Many of whom probably actually were engineers who worked on developing those AI tools and now get to go out and take that into the consumer field to make real money. You, again, aren't going to have that. You're going to see this and hear these list of tools and you're going to go try it out. You're not going to do that. And you're not going to take the time to now learn how to become a prompt engineer, to make 70,000 prompts, to make something. You are not going to do that. You don't have the time for that. It's no different than any other type of content creation then. And you're not going to hire somebody for it. And then to do what? So if you hire somebody to do it and then they're going to make it and your customers hate it.
Yeah.
Now what? What do you apologize? Sorry, everybody, we tried.
Right.
And again, why? You're an accounting firm. Most 80% of businesses in the US are service-based. So what are you going to use AI for? How does it help you?
It does
on the content creation side. There are things within your business that I still think AI is very good at and is a useful tool for. Not for consumers. I just don't think it's a consumer product.
Yeah, I agree.
For businesses. You're a content creator, get funny,
Yeah.
Do funny stuff. I love the animals getting pulled over by police videos that are out there. Those are funny.
Those are cute.
There's animal rap videos now, spitting bars. They have cats and dogs doing. If you've seen those are good. Like those kind of things are funny, but that's just meant for entertainment.
Right.
Which too, like you look back at the CGI. Remember when CGI first started, the computer generated images. Now when it's overly done in a movie, people are like, oh, that's CGI crap. People don't like it. But it was the hot new thing for a while too, and everybody was trying to do that.
Yeah.
And you had CGI commercials and movies. But now when it's in there and it's obvious, people don't like it.
Nobody wants to do
CGI
it. Yeah.
Garbage. Yeah. I've seen movie directors who are talking about going back to practical effects now because people don't like this stuff and practical effects just come off better. So I don't know. I pay attention to consumers. That's one of my things, but most marketers don't seem to.
Yeah.
They never seem to.
Yeah.
What's cool, what's trendy, let's do that. People must love it. My 23-year-old social media kid says that these videos are hot. So you guys need to do these.
Yeah.
For your car repair business.
No, you don't. Please
your
don't.
Air duct cleaning service needs to start generating AI content because nothing says you can trust me in your house like me making fake content. Again, that's why I'm just not a fan of it on the consumer side.
Yeah.
You're selling something, product, service. You want people to trust you, but you can't even be bothered to do real stuff.
Yeah. It's
and you're
weird.
asking for people to trust your brand. I don't get it. I don't like it. So
that's
me. On the content production side. Again, let me caveat that because I do think AI, there are some, there are some very strong things AI is good at in your business to help you with things, manage SEO. There's a lot of good things you can do with AI.
And we use AI. We get a lot of crap about, that we're AI haters. We're not. That's just how our clips are cut from the podcast. We use AI. I think Mike, right on. I don't have anything else to add about businesses and AI practices on that.
I don't know. So there we go. What do you guys think? If you watched this commercial, what did you think of it? Are you a fan? Do you like to be marketed to with AI and told to go out and buy a product or service with some
Yeah.
fake thing? Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Let us know. I think my snide way of asking that maybe told you my feelings again, but we want to hear from you if you're out there and saw this. But there
Argue
we
with
go.
us.
That was this year's AI Coke commercial.
Yep.
Let us know what you think. All right,
Thank you for
we'll be back
listening.
again next week. Next week, the Thanksgiving, or this is our pre-Thanksgiving episode, right? So
This
we're
is our
recording this a little
pre-Thanksgiving
early.
episode. Yeah.
So we won't see you again until after. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if you're still here, I guess. So
Yeah.
I would be amazed if you are.
Hey, Lance is
All right,
listening.
Lance is still here. Thanks again, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.